5G is the next generation of mobile communication technologies, and it enables a vast array of new technology in every aspect of science. That's why, as College of Science students, I think it's important to learn about this brand new technology and what it does. So today my discussion of 5G is going to be of three parts. One being the history and why we need 5G, second being the development and how 5G works, and lastly the future, or what the world is going to look like with 5G. First, we're going to talk about a brief history of mobile networks. We started in 1980 with 1G, which allowed us to talk on the phone with people across the world. With the implementation of 4G in 2009, we were able to talk and communicate and watch videos and pretty much do all sorts of things on our phones. However, there are many limitations to 4G, unfortunately, such as they're easily bottlenecked by a lot of users, it has pretty poor latency, and it's very energy inefficient because of towers that require the same amount of energy whether there's one person or hundreds on the server. As Nisha Penwar said in her 2016 article published in Physical Communication, 4G networks are not substantial enough to have the large amount of low latency devices connected that are paramount for future scientific endeavors. So now that we know that we need 5G, what does 5G technology actually do? How does it work? And is it safe? Well, 5G technology is split into three different subsections: low, mid, and high band. As Sasha Sagan says in her PCMag article, How Does 5G Work?, there are three forms of 5G, and they're kind of similar to a cake with three layers. The bottom is the thinnest, but it has the most spread out permeation. The middle band is a little bit more powerful, but it's a little smaller, and the high band is the precipice. It's very powerful, it's very delicious, but it doesn't go very far. Another part of the 5G infrastructure is the small cells, which replace the traditional cell towers of 4G. These are cells that can be connected anywhere from light poles to stop signs and power outlets, pretty much anything. And these will allow 5G to be casted in a very short radius. However, we are trying to circumvent this short radius using something called OFDM, which is a more efficient encoding method. Another thing people are worried about when it comes to 5G is the safety. Is it safe? Well, as you can see here, ionizing radiation, which is dangerous, such as radioactive sources, are very far from 5G, which is this white strip here, which is the non-ionizing form of radiation, which can't damage our cells. So the most 5G could possibly do to us is warm up our skin a few degrees. And now that we know 5G is safe and how it works, what is the 5G future going to look like? Well, it's going to be fast. Very fast, up to 100 times faster than the current 4G networks. That's due to 5G's low latency and high bandwidth. Bandwidth is what we think of when we think of fast internet. It's the amount of packets of data that are being sent in one go. And low latency means those packets are sent even faster than before. And that was one of the biggest concerns with 4G. It had decent bandwidth, but the latency was just not there. A paper titled 5 Technology Directions for 5G by Federico Baccardi cites smarter devices and M2M communication as being the two most paramount technologies that 5G allows. These smarter 5G-enabled devices will no longer have to rely on their own communication processor units, because they're able to offsource to large computer towers like this, or ones on servers, and those will do the processing for the phone and send it back in less than a millisecond. Along with this, machine-to-machine communication is going to enable something called the Internet of Things, which I'm going to touch upon very shortly. So finally, what is the future of technology going to look like with 5G? Well, it's going to be very impressive. A study in big data and cognitive computing by Min Chen says that 5G's low latency allows for advanced remote robotics to happen, where this purpose that Min mentions is being able to perform remote surgeries in places with poor medical infrastructure. Say a doctor in New York can go into a rural part of any country and perform surgeries using robots there. And said robots could be flown in, and surgeries can be performed anywhere. Along with that, you can even have the process using AI in 5G to help diagnose psychological conditions using neural networks. Lastly, Lalit Chetri in the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers mentions the Internet of Things, or IoT, as being the greatest leap forward that 5G enables. Essentially, with the Internet of Things, we no longer just access the web on our phones. We're able to access everything that we can physically communicate with. Because with 5G, there's so many devices that can be connected at the same time. We're going to have smart cars, smart cities. Our cars can interact with each other to enable artificial intelligence. Our machine lines will be automated. We'll be able to have more green energy using 5G and artificial intelligence. And it's truly going to be an amazing leap forward in technology. Overall, today we went over how 5G works, the history of 5G and why we need it, and the future of 5G and what it holds for us. And I hope now that you've heard all of it, that you're just as excited as I am for the future with 5G. Thank you.